It's time for the RMAC Radio Show, featuring all the latest information from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The RMAC is a proud member of NCAA Division II. Now, here's your host, Eric Danner.
Welcome to the RMAC Radio Show, week number 6. Just got done with week 5 of action in RMAC football. My name is Eric Danner, and we're starting to get to the nitty-gritty. It's October, the leaves are changing, and that always means RMAC football getting very interesting. Let's start off with, it's kind of an interesting week here. We got a big game coming up Thursday night. Now, some of you are going to listen to this before Thursday night. Some of you are going to listen to this on Saturday, and the game will already have been played, so we try not to talk too much about that game. It's Mines against Pueblo, national TV game on Thursday night. Talked a lot about it last week. We had Chris Fitzpatrick from the NCAA talk about the broadcasts they're going to do on national TV, but at the same time, a lot of people won't. The game will already been played when they hear this. So anyway, going back to week 5, CSU Pueblo playing at Chadron State. They win 38-28. Ross Dowson, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lee Meisner, 9 tackles, 2 interceptions. He is our RMAC Rawlings Defensive Player of the Week. And Pueblo matching up against Mines this week. The Orediggers win their homecoming game 38-11 against Fort Lewis. Clay Garcia back on track seemingly, 353 yards, 5 touchdowns, 31 of 39 passing. That's very impressive, over 70% completion ratio for Clay Garcia. He is our RMAC Rawlings Offensive Player of the Week. Moving on to Grand Junction, Western New Mexico defeats the Mavericks 33-21. David Ingram, 27-44, 234 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Deshaun Briggs, 10 tackles, including 2 quarterback sacks in the win for the Mustangs. Nebraska Kearney goes to Adams State. The Grizzlies hung tough with the Lopers for a period of time, but they lose 37-14. Stephen Rush, how about that for a running back? 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Dustin Bolt for the Grizzlies, 9 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Also punted 6 times for a 48-yard average. James Ackle, 13 tackles in the loss for Adams State. And the eyebrow raiser of the week was up in Gunnison as the Western State Mountaineers defeat New Mexico Highlands 15-14 on a last-second field goal by Lloyd Tucker. He was 5 of 6 on the day, and he is our RMAC Rawlings Special Teams Player of the Week. Big win, first win for new head coach Jazz Baines, who joins us now on the RMAC hotline. Coach Baines, I imagine it's got to be going pretty good today.
Yeah, it's nice to get a win on the season, Eric, and we're excited heading into this week.
Talking with Jazz Baines, first-year head coach at Western State. Now, New Mexico Highlands was undefeated coming into this game. They had won at Colorado Mines. They had beaten Colorado Mesa the week before. This was a high-powered offense, Coach, but you were able to limit what they were able to do. What was the key to your success defensively?
We just tried to be as consistent as we could throughout the game. We were pretty simple with our game plan. We're trying to get our kids to play fast, so obviously, this year being our first year, we don't have a whole lot installed. We focused on, just doing our job, and that's something that we've lacked throughout the season. And, you can see it in our earlier games, and opponents that we've had have capitalized on it, with, mistakes we've made. And again, we made some in this game as well, and it seems like every time we take one on defense, it costs us, and they're big mistakes, where we're giving up either big chunks of yardage or they're scoring on the play. So, we limited them in that respect, and played a little bit more consistent on defense.
Talking with Jazz Baines, first-year head coach at Western State. Coach, you were on the staff last year. You had been at Chadron State prior to coming to Western State. What were some of the things when you took over as head coach that you wanted to implement right away as far as changes?
Yeah, I think the first thing, that we focused on was obviously creating an identity here. That's something that, just having coached against Western for years, as well as being here last fall with Mike Imoni, that's something that we lacked. There's nothing that we can say that we hung our hat on, so to speak, and we're trying to create that identity of the style of offense and defense and special teams that we want to be. And, just trying to be a little bit more consistent in our philosophies and what we're doing schematically more than anything. And, our kids are starting to buy in, and, they still got plenty of learning to do, but, they're starting to do a better job.
Western State travels to Western New Mexico this Saturday. They play in Silver City. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff between the Mountaineers and Mustangs. Coach, one of the things coming into this year, you had a couple of guys on the roster who had experience at quarterback prior to this year, but you went with a different guy this year. And did you kind of, when you approached, when you came into camp in the fall, did you approach it as every position was open, since it's a new coaching staff and kind of a new mindset that nobody had a secure job coming in?
Yeah, Eric. I mean, that's that's the first thing we told our guys in spring practice. That they're competing during the spring, but we're going to bring in a lot of people at the same time. We had 48 brand new players to our roster the day we reported in August, and every position was up for grabs. The nice thing at the time is that we did have two quarterbacks that had a lot of experience at the same time. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the system we were implementing. So they were young in the same sense, and we had moved Tyler Daniels to receiver, and he got injured in practice and was done for the year. Miles Gorham, started our first game for us, did a nice job. But we felt, going with Jamie, he brought a few other things to the table that we liked a little bit more. He could do some things that at the time either Miles wasn't doing or just couldn't do. And Miles he's a tremendous athlete. I mean, he does a lot of things for us. He can punt, which he's our punter. He can kick field goals, and he's a heck of a receiver at the same time. He's just an athlete. So he's done a great job. For us, he's embraced his role at receiver, and you're going to see him a lot more on the field as well. And he still continues to take reps at quarterback in case of injury or anything like that comes up. So he's taking reps at both spots, but he's done a great job for us at receiver, and I think you'll see more and more of them as the season progresses.
Western State currently 1-4, coming off their first win of the season, 15-14 over New Mexico Highlands on a last-second field goal by Lloyd Tucker. And, Coach, I know that's got to be big in terms of just the psyche of the team to finally get that win. You guys were close against Chadron State a few weeks before that and have been hanging tough in a lot of those games. But also having it on homecoming, I imagine, has to be big because of the great tradition of Western State football. I imagine there was probably some guys that came back for that particular game, and to be able to win that in front of that alumni group has to be big for you as well.
It was a great win, Eric. Obviously homecoming, we had a lot of people in town, a lot of alumni, former players, ex-students, whatever it may be, at the game. It was great atmosphere. You couldn't ask for anything better on a Saturday of college football. And, the crowd was, they played a major role in our victory. They were behind us, for the entire game. And I'm sure there was some breathtaking moments throughout the game. It was nice to get it at home more than anything. It was obviously, it's great for our players, having struggled early in the season, and it was nice to get them a win, and they played hard for 4 quarters, and it was nice to do it at home in front of our crowd. So, it was a great Saturday. Can't say much more.
Western State, again, travels to Western New Mexico this weekend. And, Coach, the Mustangs almost have that team at destiny thing working for them, where they had that big bus fire a few weeks ago. They were able to beat Fort Lewis, and then they gave Mines all they could handle, took them to overtime, and then they beat Mesa in Grand Junction this past weekend. And you know how tough that road trip can be. So Western New Mexico perhaps exceeding people's expectations. What do you see in that game?
To be honest with you, Adam's done a great job over there. He's got great coaches, and they're well coached. They're disciplined, and they do a great job in every aspect of their game. So they're definitely improving, and it'll be a tough game. We're just now getting into watching their film a little bit more. Starting with them yesterday, but they've done a great job. They're 3-2 on the season. They've had some close games. Obviously took Mines into overtime, but they're doing a great job, and their kids are playing hard, and it'll be a battle this Saturday. So.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for taking some time out, and good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it very much, Eric. Thank you.
All right, that is Jazz Baines, the head football coach at Western State, who beat New Mexico Highlands, previously unbeaten before this week. And for more on what's going to be happening in RMAC football, let's head over to Chris Polton at the RMAC Sports Desk.
Thanks, Eric. Some big games coming up this weekend, starting with the most talked about game of the year, CSU Pueblo hosting Colorado School of Mines. That game is on national TV. The Ore Diggers are looking to bring the Thunder Wolves their first loss of the season. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. at the Thunder Bowl, Thursday, October 6th. Check rmacsports.org for the results if you are listening to this after that kickoff. Elsewhere, Kearney welcomes in-state rival Chadron State. With the Lopers going to the MIAA, this could be the last matchup for some time between these rivals. Game time set for noon at Cope Stadium. The Fort Lewis Skyhawks welcome Colorado Mesa Durango this weekend. Both teams are in search for their first conference victory. Action starts at 1 p.m. at Denison Field. And it's a battle of the West this weekend as Western State travels to Silver City to take on Western New Mexico. Both teams are looking for their second win in a row. Game time is set for 1 p.m. at Ben Altamirano Stadium. The last game of the weekend is Las Vegas, New Mexico, as the hard-luck Adams State Grizzlies look to post their first conference win of the season against New Mexico Highlands. The Cardiac Cowboys' last 3 games have been decided in the last 10 seconds of action. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. at Perkins Stadium. I'm Chris Polton, and that has been your RMAC Football Update.
Thank you, Chris. When we come back, we're going to talk women's soccer with Fort Lewis star Haley Halinga, and later on we'll talk with Mike Rouse, the voice of the Western New Mexico Mustangs. You're listening to the RMAC Radio Show.